Hello. Hi.
You ready to go?
We're ready.
Someone said.
Ready to rock and roll? No, you want to sit here? Just some old bag, not me, but my old bag.
Good evening, I'm Eric Stalker. We're going to be chairing tonight. Melissa Makepeace O'Neill cannot be here. Additionally, well, it's February 17th. We all know that, I guess. We read over the agenda and then the next thing will be to take comments if people have comments. So at 5 o'clock, we're calling ourselves to order. We have now done that officially. We're now reviewing the agenda. We have public comment, as I mentioned, right after this. Then we go into general business, review and approve 124 towns meeting minutes, 10/2/3/26 meeting minutes. Continuation of 1/20/26 National Grid poll hearing. I see they're here. That's great. Police Department check-in, Devin Pelletier. Discussion on the creation of a facilities manager position. Vote to disband the police chief search committee. Discussion of revised policy number 010925, plowing of public ways. We will not resolve that, I don't think, we'll just discuss it. Review and sign resolution for the town of Shutesbury regarding Quabbin watershed, which will be self-explanatory when we get to it, and sign the CAI Cartographic Associates Incorporated Tax Map Maintenance Proposal Contract from the assessors. And then town administrators report. Public comment, anybody, anything. Seeing none. We're going to get right rolling with review and approve the minutes of the 110 Four Towns meeting. I'm not sure we can do that. I wasn't here. Melissa isn't here.
I know. Well, I know. I
Can approve them if you believe that they were written in good faith. Even if you weren't there, you can actually approve minutes that you weren't physically.
Yeah, I thought that was the case, but I wasn't sure what the qualifier was, so that if you believe that they were done in good faith. Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of January 10th, 2026 for town meeting.
Second. All those in favor?
Farrell, aye.
Stalker, aye. All right, we've done that. And 2/3/26 meeting for our minutes.
Right, so I wasn't there, but I did read through the minutes and they seem pretty thorough. So I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of February 3rd, 2026 select board meeting.
I will second, but of course I have my little corrections if I can find the sheet that has it, and they're very small. You're not. Well, let's just, we're okay. We can just approve them where they are. It's fine. And if I see what they are, if I find that sheet that I have,
I'll always bring it back.
I'll talk to Brennan. Just point it out. Exactly. Anyway, there we go. All those in favor?
Farrell, aye.
Stalker, aye.
So weird not to make.
Yeah.
I know.
I'm like waiting for you, Melissa.
Really. And now we're moving on to continuation of the 1/20/26 National Grid poll hearing. I see National Grid's here in the room.
Yes.
We're all set with it, I believe. Is that your sense?
So, yeah, Brennan, do you have, is Brennan here?
Yes.
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, Mateo. Can you read us Mateo said that he sent an email regarding the Conservation Commission's review of the polls that were going to go in?
I believe Mateo is in here, but
okay.
if not, I
All
can
right.
always read it.
So, yeah. So, or Mateo, are you comfortable just relating what you just told me on the phone about the review by the Conservation Commission?
Yeah, so after the previous hearing, the applicant did submit a request for determination of applicability, and there was a site visit and a public hearing and a vote by the commission to issue the permit with a few minor conditions on the work. The permit hasn't been drafted at this moment, but it was voted and approved at the Conservation Commission's meeting last week.
Okay,
Okay, great. I mean, that's really what we wanted to make sure before we went ahead
Right.
and approved this. Um, so
do I hear a motion?
yes, I'll move that we approve the grid poll, request from National Grid this is for Pratt Corner Road, correct?
Yes.
As amended, we're in that, that's right, by,
Right.
yeah. Second. All those in favor?
Farrell, I.
Stock right. You're all set.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Sweet.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you, yeah.
Sorry for the double billing.
We need to go through our process.
Police Department check-in. Devin, you're on.
Okay, we're still looking for a full-time officer. Had 14 applicants so far. None of them really meet the qualifications. So that's the status on that. Been working on some IT related matters with a new IT team that we have who are CJIS certified and all of that. They've been very good. All the police logs for all previous years have been uploaded to the website,
Right.
and we're uploading them monthly now. At the end of the year, we'll condense them all to just the one file so that we don't have like a ton to look through. Also, I'm looking a lot of things about the police page have been fixed, links that didn't work and things of that sort. But I'm still looking at potentially ways to make it a little bit easier to look at certain important things like for our licensing page, people are now able to submit their applications online, but they still have to come in to the station to get their picture taken. So there's directions on that on the website, but I'm afraid not many people read it. So, and we don't like necessarily get a notification when a new application comes in. So that's one of the things that I'm looking at having be a little bit more accessible.
Devin, can I ask you a question, just going back to your first statement, and that is, if you've had 14 applicants, like what is the issue
No
around?
police academies.
So they're applying, but they haven't been to the police academy, so their thinking was that they would be hired and then we would send them to the police academy, is that the
Yeah.
issue? Yeah.
So, there was one with a police academy, but didn't meet the qualifications in other aspects. So, but yes, out of the 14, none of them, 13 of them didn't have a police academy. So yeah, the expectation is that you would hire them and send them through a police academy.
And my recollection is that other departments, other municipalities like ours are also having trouble recruiting.
Yeah, they're having trouble. Well, there's a shortage of police officers to start. Everybody's looking for police officers, and there's towns that pay a lot more. Also, there's towns that put a lot of people through the police academies too. That's a normal thing, but in the smaller communities, sometimes they get out of the academy, as you know,
Right,
and they go to
take
a
another
different
job,
department.
right?
So yeah, I mean, I'm confident we'll find the right person. It's just going to take time,
Yeah.
and I don't want to settle for, anyone who's not going to be a good fit with the department. So I'm not, although I really want to get the position filled,
Right.
I'm not going to rush it for the sake of filling it.
Good, thank you, sorry for
No,
backtracking.
Other than that, the just community policing updates, we'll be helping fund what I believe is called a Little Voters Lounge. If I know it's still in the works, but that's something we're looking into. We've committed to. And everything is in place for the women's self-defense class. We just have to pick a date for it, which will be in this fiscal year, hoping for March or April. And other than that, just working on reorganizing different files and getting some more stuff electronically organized and that sort of thing. So
Is that class, is that a 1 day deal or 1 night or one?
for
Women's.
yeah, it's gonna be one, but I did talk to the Amherst chief because they have a program that continues on. I think a couple of their female detectives teach it, and I asked if that would be able to be available to our residents as well. As kind of like maybe if they get interested in this class, they have a place to go. And he said that they could absolutely join that if they'd
Yeah.
like to. So that's kind of how, yeah, because I was looking at, the really the benefits of having one class. And then people get interested in it. And so that's why I was looking for other ways that they could get involved in something that was also community based. So.
Right.
Good. That's it.
That's all I got.
I don't think I have any other
Nothing exciting,
questions.
no
Yeah.
quiz or-
Sorry, I missed your swearing in ceremony. I heard it was very well attended.
It was very
Yeah.
nice. Yes. It's very, very nice. Thanks to
and
Haley.
in our new library.
I know,
Yeah.
beautiful building.
Yeah, great,
Wonderful. So.
good, good. Okay, well, thanks for sticking
absolutely.
around.
Would you like to stay to hear us vote to disband your search?
Oh,
Just to be sure.
Just to be sure.
We're not going backward.
Oh, well, we'll skip to that one then. How about that?
yeah.
How about a vote? How about moving on to the vote to disband the police chief search committee?
I will make a motion to disband the police chief search committee.
Second. All those in favor?
Farrell, I.
Stalker, aye. All right.
Got nervous.
Yeah. Thanks, Devin.
Okay, let's go back then to discussion of the creation of the facilities manager position.
So I've been thinking a lot about buildings. So I have some figures in front of you, and then I also thought back in our, budget year is very tight. So instead of just giving you a full-time position, I did some quick math and just did like what a part-time might cost.
Oh, here.
Yeah.
could you-
And so I kind of envision this as being really similar to like the land use clerk where you're working under the town umbrella, but you're working really closely with, in this case, it would be the buildings committee. And so the first thing I wanted to do was just make sure it was something that people even wanted to go forward with, like the FinCom and the personnel board and the select board. But what really got me thinking about this is how much aging infrastructure we have, and then the issue with the boiler at the school. And like, I'm not a professional, and I think I can speak for Anne and say neither is she. And now we have a brand new library with like a brand new HVAC system. And I know Mary Ann also, that's not quite her forte. So just thinking about, what we could do to try to set ourselves up for success in the years to come, and really just have someone who can do the scheduling, do some of the bookkeeping, do some of the long range planning, maybe do some grant research, prep some applications and work with our buildings committee. It was funny after I had first mentioned it, Ellen clipped me out because somebody had asked, well, do any other towns have this? Leverett has it. In Montague, they're hiring for a building maintenance person. So it's not atypical even in a small community. And it's just nice sometimes to have like that one point person.
Right.
It all can get funneled through there. And even if you didn't want to do it this year, it's something to think about, that we might want to incorporate into the town's operating system as we try to prioritize fixing some of these buildings up, and especially working on our decarbonization roadmap and all the great work that the buildings committee did to kind of look at, what needs to be repaired and when. So
What is Leverett? Is Leverett's a full-time position or?
time.
So do we have the potential to share a person?
I can ask. The information that I got about the individual, I'm not sure if they are looking for that, but I could certainly ask them. if
Mhm.
That's an option.
It just seems like trying to add a full-time position and, our town finances are not going to improve. If anything, they're gonna get harder. So, I think that yes, having a point person, I mean, in the past, I think our town administrator did a lot of it and didn't have the skill set. It takes a lot. Yeah, it's a lot to manage on top of,
I think we have a much
Of
more
everything
active
else.
building committee that can do that.
we have a building committee that's right, if they could play an integral role too, with the person, working with him, with them, and with the town administrator, it would seem to make some sense. One thing that I just always thinking about how could we save some money, is I was, wondering whether or not if there was somebody who was existing on staff, let's say a custodian whose job could be enhanced, because it's not a full-time, it's not an
Yeah.
everyday thing. So if
Right.
you had somebody who had this in addition to what they were already doing, but, had brought a level of skill to it, and knowledge, then, maybe it would just work for everybody.
Yeah,
Um,
I could.
Frank, what are your thoughts on this? You are the building committee.
yeah, yeah.
We did talk about this 6, 7 months ago,
Mhm.
mainly because of the new library. The
Right.
library committee hired Royal Steam to do maintenance for a year. Who asked us to look at making a super one person. I've interviewed one person to take care of all the heating systems and HVACs. That's more than
Right.
And that's doing something like that's gonna help with us,
Yeah.
because it's just having someone coordinate that. I'm way over my head in boiler in school.
Yeah, I think right now, I think all of us are.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I don't know if replacing it, do you want to spend $150,000 replacing something that we're gonna have to get rid of by 2050? I don't know. So that's what we're looking at.
So you were moving towards we had talked about, just having like one contractor,
One contractor.
right, instead of this kind of, yeah.
Yeah, Royal Steam is out of Gardner that's taking care of the library.
Uh-huh.
There's 2 others, Western something that does also plumbing, so.
Western Mass Heating and Cooling?
Yes.
Yeah.
Also do plumbing.
Mhm.
I think by the other one might, but they'll do plumbing.
Yeah.
And then because of the energy thing we're going through.
Oh,
yeah.
I met another company that would like to be involved. And it's interesting, he pointed out things, and he knew who the contractor was. Which, yeah, because they stuck out. That's what we're looking forward to, is getting someone to coordinate. That would be great. But
Yeah.
it's just, we really like to have one person be in charge of all the buildings
Right.
and take care of anything, and if something happens, they call him. I don't know which costume you're talking about. Matt doesn't.
I wasn't,
Matt
yeah.
doesn't want. I
Right,
mean, he just,
right.
he's over his head too. He just, all he cares about is heat. Like 3 weeks ago, is getting that heat. And just those little things. And in the past, I don't think they've done enough maintenance or preemptive maintenance, yearly maintenance. I know the heating system here. I know people who have houses, once a year, they come in September, and they pay
Yeah.
$100, whatever it is, and they take it, they look at it. I don't know if we've done that. It's something we need to do. It's, that would be incorporated in one of these things.
So you'd have like a schedule.
Yes, we have a schedule. I'll give you an example. I talked to Graham at the broadband bill, phenomenal bill. I got to see the inside for the first time. He's very impressed with Torek, because Torek's son comes around once a year. I don't know how many times a year. and maintains our generators. And they hadn't been done before.
Uh-huh.
So they get low on oil, they get low on,
Right,
things,
right,
they
they-
make sure the testing's at the right times and all that. So I was impressed with that.
Batteries and stuff.
Batteries, he's done, and Torch done a wonderful job in upgrading this building and a couple others recently. So giving that, trying to get that coordination of, who do we want to do what? Ask them if we can get a deal, because money's an issue.
Right.
And then I think that'll work forward to the town in a really positive way. Just takes time.
Yeah.
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 It almost seems like if you had a heating, guru or whatever, that would almost solve more than half of this problem. You know what I mean? Like it's really, that's the expensive stuff that people don't know anything, not that we don't know anything about it, but
It's
It's
complicated.
complicated, yeah.
you look at the library, I mean, I don't know if you've been around that side of the corner where all the heating system is, and go, well, yeah, it's energy, it's energy free and all this, but oh my God, if this thing ever goes bad.
And the coordination of, I started calling fiefdoms, everyone had their own fiefdom.
Mhm.
To coordinate those specifically, like, problems we had with the tank this summer.
Yeah.
I had a wonderful conversation with the old, custodian. Who was on shore, was put in 35 plus years ago. It's gonna be need to replace within the next 10 years. The parking lot wants to be done, so we're trying to keep these things all coordinated.
Mhm.
So you don't wanna put a brand new parking lot in, and then dig it up.
Right.
So, those things would be great. Something like this, part-time or something, just to make sure everyone's coordinated.
Yeah.
So that's our field. We did talk about that. Specifically the library, a lot of this is over our head.
Yeah.
We can call and contact, Bill.
Hey, Phil Parker, I'm also on the building committee. Sorry to interrupt you, Frank, but just wanted to give my thoughts on the matter. I see kind of like two needs shoots. I'm the newest member of the building committee, so just kind of have more of an outsider's or a newcomer's perspective. The two needs I see, one is for like hands-on maintenance where a person has a lot of different like handyman type skills where they're doing a bunch of work. Everything from troubleshooting boilers or fixing leaking plumbing or, changing filters on HVAC systems. And then the other need I think is more like an administrative need where somebody is negotiating preferred vendors, managing and coordinating the vendors, and running some sort of a maintenance work order system, so that work orders can be properly maintained and things are getting done and it's where things are being kept track of. So that's my perspective, is that there's these two sort of needs that the town has.
Yeah, so we got, what is that? Bombed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anybody who's listening, we got bombed, so we had to shut down and restart.
Yeah.
So was Phil still, he was Phil.
Phil, yeah, Phil,
He
well, he had
muted it.
talked about,
I think I finished
needs.
before the bombing started, but if you guys,
Okay.
I can say stuff again if you
No,
guys think
I
you
think we
missed
got
something.
it. The hands-on maintenance and then administrative need, like the two major functions.
Yeah. So I don't know if Frank agrees or disagrees, but that was just my 2 cents.
Mhm. And the person would work closely, again, with the buildings committee.
Definitely not to get rid of you.
Yeah.
But to maybe help with more work.
Well, I guess we could have a discussion think this is a
One thing you
hard
should look-
time to.
I know this is a very hard time to do.
Yeah.
One thing you should think about is the royal contracts for a year. So you have to start thinking about it for maybe the
But
next
that is a year
from now,
from now.
from when the opening. So that's,
Okay,
so in other words, you get a year to do that, over a year to do this, but at that point, at least maybe, well,
but town
Actually-
meeting is for
actually-
next year.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so it's for next year. So
Yeah,
on that could be one of the special meetings, but we can
Right.
still go ahead and try to get the super vendors, the preferred vendors.
yes,
And work that out
Yes.
before then.
yeah.
But it'll still, yeah. So I don't think for this to get, I don't think, well. I see what you're saying. I don't think it needs
Yes.
to be on April because it's.
Well, but it would start July 1st of 2026 and go to June 30th of
Right.
2027, and the Royal would have expired during that.
But
time.
that's why I think at that time, I don't know who will hire, but we'll have someone
Right, you'll
that
have
has,
somebody.
we'll have someone in time for that, and then you can think about it after that. That's what I would say.
Yeah, so, and I guess it could be special town meeting if we chose to go that route after we see how everything shakes out after this budget process. I think to add it to this
Mhm.
current budget process,
No, I can already hear the finance committee screaming.
yeah, but I think we should raise it with them.
Yes, I think
And
that
then
was,
we've had the discussion, and then contemplate whether or not, if we assume there'll be a fall town meeting, if that would be a time, but once the dust settles from this year.
that makes sense.
Because I think it's a good idea. I think if you can also, just sort of scope out, lever it, what the job description is, what the pay rate is, the person's qualifications, it would be good to. It's there, you'd like another small town for
Mhm.
comparability.
Yeah, and that's perfect because mostly I just wanted to get the idea out there.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
no, I
It's-
think it's
think
very good, and thank you for
We're.
working with the, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, well, that's great.
I think in general, the building committees. More, just been better than what we have here in the past.
Yeah, great.
Very helpful.
Well,
See, but I'm just, I'm impressed with the people we have,
Mhm.
Right,
because they're dedicated and they're focused and they have a great background.
Yeah,
And the spreadsheet or the assessment never could have been done without Stephen Dalmas.
right.
Yeah.
And because he's very focused on, so I would use another word, but
No,
and he's just, it's the way he is.
Right.
And it's really nice because you get everything
yeah,
from the little things.
yeah,
And that's what's really good to have. And some things have been fixed. See in the annual report, the fence out front. Did you notice that?
the fence out.
I noticed someone working on it, so I guess.
Years ago, yeah, what happened was it was three of them were falling off. You had
Oh,
a 6 foot,
you
yeah,
noticed
yeah.
I didn't notice, well, I
Oh, I
haven't gone
noticed
for a
someone
couple of
working
weeks,
that.
so.
Yeah,
Yes,
no, this
thank
is
you.
done a while. It's
Oh, it was, okay.
months ago, but
I know it was.
little things like that, little things we
Yes.
do, and if
Yeah.
we didn't want to put the spreadsheet online because then we'd have people calling all the time saying, "Can you fix that?" But we should, I'll probably update and send the spreadsheet out again, because you'll see stuff that has from
Has-
one to the other
Yeah,
been fixed and updated, and you'll see before and after pictures, which is really nice.
yes, no, that's great.
Great.
Yeah,
Great.
So,
Well, we really appreciate your
thank you.
your work and your hands-on work, because I know it's both been that, you've done a lot of research, but then you've also been out there. So that's wonderful. Thank you.
All right. So. I guess that we've discussed this sufficiently, we've decided,
Yeah,
think so.
yeah. And I think you have follow-up stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll look at
but I think keeping it on the radar is a really good idea.
yes. Yeah, I do too.
Okay, discussion revised policy to plow private ways.
Yeah, so this is just a keep on the radar thing. So I was, there's been some issues at the lake. And so I have spent a lot of time looking at our current policy. And I handed this out at the emergency management meeting. I'll pass it down to you. There's some other communities in Mass that do different things. They have different things in their policies. Some places charge, some places don't. So there's a whole host of options that are out there. And I think The biggest thing that our policy would benefit from is just, I think, more clarity. Can we make it more specific so that, there's less ambiguity in terms of what constitutes decision making. So there's something more concrete to fall back on. And then that was my big one. And I think, if you take a look at that and how many thoughts, that's the biggest one I'd like to see us tackle, I think, in the immediacy.
Is this policy? Or,
Yeah, well, just that portion of the policy to bring in that clarity level.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, I agree 100%. I think I happen to live on a private way, so kind of I know the history and I know what was done. And we'd get an annual letter just saying trim this tree or trim that tree, or you fill a pothole, and then we're willing to plow. But having kind of more definitive standards about what the expectation is around just, for access for equipment. So having heights trimmed to a level of 14 feet or whatever, so that it doesn't hit the, so that there's clear guidelines for anybody who's on one of these private ways. If you can't comply with the policy, then the town can't plow.
and it's exactly stuff like that. Like I'm not proposing any particular change for, like, in some communities they do 14 feet width. It has to have that. It has to have a turnaround. There's all kinds of different ways you can go about the problem. And so I guess my question mostly for you is this something that you want me to propose? Should we try to do like a roads committee and just look at some of these factors? I also see, like, in this policy, there's no way to say, well, what if the condition changes between September and now? A lot of things can happen between that might change the geography of where you're working. So, there's more considerations here than I think this policy articulates. And
so I think it would be good to have a draft policy. I don't think we need a committee per se, but I think it would be good to have a public hearing, like not a formal public hearing, but a public discussion to invite townspeople to come. And those who live on private ways will be particularly interested to hear what the changes might be.
Okay.
And how the policy would read. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think we need it?
Yeah, no, I don't. And I would just say in the past that this has been a very volatile issue in town. I don't know if you remember those meetings way back about down toward down
by the reservoir.
Yeah.
Well, way back when the town first adopted the private ways, that's when that grew out of those meetings, because there were folks down on Kettle Hill Road and some of the other roads down off January Hills. So yeah, I mean, I think
I'm not sure we do anything down there. Do we do anything down there?
I have no idea.
I don't know.
if it's
I
on
don't,
the list
that
or
would be the
not,
first thing I do.
but
the name of the room?
Kettle Hill,
Kettle Hill is the big one.
and there's another,
I don't believe so.
No. Yeah.
But what I can do, I can put together just like a PowerPoint of options,
Yeah.
and maybe not frame it as, we can hear what the options are first, get public feedback, and then maybe come to you with a proposed draft, or do you?
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. If you, so do the draft after we have like a public information session or something. Okay. That sounds good.
Just like the previous discussion, like the money's tight.
Mhm.
And anything that
Right.
you do that says, let's add this and add that to the finance committee is gonna be going, can't do that,
Yeah.
Right.
And again, that's just some of the options. Like
Right.
there's, and I looked a lot too at like communities on the Cape, because they also have the same problem.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Right.
What did they do? They do a little bit of everything. So
So do we, do you think we could set aside like half an hour, 45 minutes at a select board meeting where we don't have a super heavy agenda, or we just go a little bit later rather than trying to do a separate meeting? Because it's just, there's so many meetings now, and I know you
Yeah.
have a lot.
I would appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, so I think if we could couple it with, and it could be after town meeting, if you think that makes sense, just 'cause
Yeah.
there's a lot going on. So
As long as it's
mid-May,
for the snow season.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's,
So how about right after, like, yeah, right after, town meeting,
Okay, because we can advertise that town meeting.
Right,
We won't-
right. right?
excellent. Okay, so are we okay with that one?
Yep.
All right. The next thing is the review and sign resolution, if we want to sign, the resolution for the town of Tewksbury regarding the Quabbin watershed. Let me just give you a little background on this from what I know. I'm on a committee that's a loosely established committee, I guess you'd say, whatever. It's Joe Comerford's had a lot to do with setting it up. The general concept is that the Quabbin towns don't get enough money and support from the state. And that there's an opportunity. I mean, we basically take all our water, our pristine water, and send it to Boston, and they pay virtually nothing for it. And there's nothing addressed in the pilot assessments and all the things that just, so let's just straighten this out a little bit. This is what all this really says. And that's what the resolution basically says. It's the resolution that she or her office basically wrote.
I did read it, yeah. No, it was great.
Anyway, so
It's basically saying, we want our fair share.
right there.
And the MWRA, the
Right.
Massachusetts Water Resource Authority, even if they were to put a very small increment, an increase in
Right.
water rates
Right.
for the millions of gallons of
Right.
water that go to the eastern part of the state that we're protecting by preserving all this land for which we don't even get adequate pilot payments.
Right.
That we want a voice. We want a voice, and we want to be compensated.
Right.
So I think Joe Comerford has really taken the leadership on this, and all the, I don't know, are there 7 or 8 Quabbin towns?
I want to say there
that
are 8.
8 that are involved, and I think everybody's been working together and been
Well, I
organizing
think
events
I
for.
think the immediate idea is to have all the 8 towns sign something like this at the select board or at the town meeting, annual town meeting, or both. And I would advocate that we want to do both. We'd like.
Yeah, I think we should put it
it'd be
on the
good for us
warrant.
to do it right now and just say,
Yeah.
hey, we've done this.
Yeah,
We're behind it, but to have the town meeting endorse it as well as a warrant article or as a, how you do,
I
how you
think
do it.
that's a great idea.
Um,
Okay, well, I'll make a motion that we sign the resolution for the town of Shutesbury regarding the Quabbin Reservoir and asking for increased regional representation on the MWRA board, establishment of a Quabbin Community Trust Fund, and reconfiguration of the payment in lieu of taxes structure to much better recognize the value of Shutesbury and other watershed town stewardship.
all right. So you've moved, I will second that. All those in favor?
Farrell, I.
Stalker, aye. All right, so we should sign it. I guess we'll see if we'll
Yeah.
give it to Melissa to sign if she wants to sign it. And I'm not exactly sure where we want to send this first one. I can talk to Joe and see where we want to send it.
Yeah,
I'll tell her we've signed it.
so I think she's compiling them, right?
Yeah, I think, because I mean, some towns out of those 8 towns, I mean, I just know from the Zoom meeting, some of them are saying, well, our town will never do this unless the select board does it, or our town won't do, there's always, so that's where that whole thing of like the select board and or the meetings have come into play.
So are you keeping a master list for town meeting of articles that we want to,
Yeah.
so they should
We got
have it.
a rough draft going.
Oh, okay, great.
So
Not
today,
that long.
No, I know.
God.
date is 2/17. All right, well, I'll call Joe and see how she wants us to,
Okay.
actually, you know what? Brennan told me he had one of these that has a
Oh, seal on it.
seal on it.
Okay.
This is just.
Yeah, it would be good to have this seal.
There should be
okay.
one in the folder for the meeting.
Oh, okay. Oh, one in the folder for the meeting.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yes, I have them. I have a stack waiting for you.
Oh,
Okay.
good.
Of all the things you've agreed
Yeah.
to sign.
Yeah,
I was thinking
right.
we were
So
ripping and
I
locking.
just remembered that there were other things we needed to sign too. Okay,
So we'll
Good.
sign that one and then we'll
Okay,
get Melissa to
great.
sign as well.
yes. Thank you.
Thanks, Brennan. That's good. And then I'll see where, I'll talk to Joe and see where she wants us to send these, you know, this one anyway. Excellent. Well, we'll do that and then we will move on to sign the Cartographic Associates,
Text.
tax map maintenance proposal contract.
Yes, I don't know if Leslie, if you want to add anything, I think that this is just fairly routine assessor business.
It is. It's just that because it's a contract, it's my understanding that this gets signed by the select board, not the assessors.
Yep.
There's two parts to our maps. One is the GIS hosting online, and the other is the tax map maintenance, and they go together. You can't put maps online unless all the changes in the previous year are available. So selectmen boards have in the past have signed them. And I'm hoping you will too.
Well, I'm going to make a motion that
right.
we sign the Cartographic Associates, Inc. tax map maintenance contract.
Thank you.
Second. All those in favor, yeah.
Farrell, I.
Stalker, aye.
No, it does seem
I
weird.
know. So keep waiting for Melissa.
I know, where's the voice of Melissa? So, Haley, this is your voice though.
All right.
Ministers.
So first little bit of news. So Gail Flychecker and I attended a really interesting webinar on the AI Foundation for
Yes,
Government.
I was hoping you guys went to
Oh,
that.
cool.
It was really interesting. They have a video. They're doing a whole series now, and I think I sent you both the links if you want to sign up too. Because they talked about ways you can use it for like financial modeling and forecasting. But the good news is that because we have a private Google account, our information stays local. So it's not being used to help the system learn. It's just on our own individual things, and they don't go out into the ether.
And that's their policy, Google's policy.
It's if you have a paid account. Like if you have a free account, then the currency is your data.
Oh,
If you pay for
okay.
the account, then you retain your ownership. over
Oh,
that.
okay. Well, that was
okay.
good to know. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was really helpful, which is good because definitely been doing quite a few things to get together. So the other big topic, Lake Wyola Dam repairs. So I put out a request for responses last week. Heard back from a couple contractors, and they should have some quotes into me by next week. So then we can select our contractor and then proceed with the work. We are slightly behind schedule, but I did explain to the Office of Dam Safety that, it's partially weather, it's partially the delays where, we thought we would have to do more water testing. So, yeah, so it's still trucking along and still can certainly be completed by the spring. Right, and we can get the water level back up. I did want to ask, so part of the holdup was, forget the exact term, but so MIPA, one of their representatives had reached out. So essentially what they were asking us to do is to conduct like an assessment survey for like wetlands and water impact. And there was some disagreement between our contractor GZA and the state office about, well, if we have a dam safety order, it says to just proceed with repairs. It doesn't say to do anything else. But they being GZA, they need support from the select board if we want to push that advocacy forward. Essentially, what it means is either we do this testing now and we do it again later when we have to do the full dam repairs, because we're not out of the woods once we do the emergency repairs. There's more to come. But what we would hope to do is to bypass that process this time to save time and money, and then do it when we know that we're gonna have to do more repairs down the line. So GZA was looking for some guidance from, myself and the select board on, how should they handle that? I have plans to reach out to Rep Saunders and Joe, and see if that's something that they could also maybe support us on. I think that the argument to the state is not that we don't want to do it at all. It's just that we want to get these emergency repairs done
Right.
and plan for that expense later on.
And what exactly were they asking us to do?
They were, let's pull up my email because it'll probably be easier. Like a specific test. So it gets very technical. So I'm trying to
Yeah.
parse out what
Yeah.
what is absolutely needed.
I'm just wondering if it was anything that we did when we did the culvert. Because there was so much work done when we did the culvert and so much permitting that,
Probably a very similar process. So
but I'm just saying, we just did that. So I'm wondering, like, are we replicating something that was done within the last couple of years that where there's not going to be anything
not quite.
different?
So I
Okay.
think the crux of it from GZA's perspective is that what is a permit and what is like a safety order. And so if you have the safety order, then that should mean we do one set of things versus if we have we only have to do the permitting, then that would involve the MEPA filings.
Right.
That would involve the additional cost. So it's
Well, it seems like if we're going to have to do it a second time,
That's
that this is an
thing.
emergency. Emergency means you do things quickly, right? Rather.
Theoretically.
yes, and if you read the documents, and I can send them all out again, but it doesn't say anything about this particular kind of testing in the safety order itself. It just talks
Right.
about remediating the emergency work
Right.
and then getting back up to a certain status.
Right.
So
I think we pursue it without doing the full, the full work that we would be required to do with the permit and emphasize that we're going to need it. We are going to be doing a permit because we're going to have to do more permanent repairs to the dam.
yes,
So at such time as we're going through the permit process, then we will happily comply with their expensive requirements.
yes. Okay, so that's good. I will communicate that. And then just another quick note, unfortunately, I think I may have already said this, but we cannot use the CPA funds because the work is happening and not the same year. But we do have through, I think, like mid-March to submit another grant opportunity through the Office of Dam Safety to try to mitigate our costs. And then hopefully,
How much was the CPA going to be?
well, the projected cost that we got from the engineer, and obviously that's barring the actual work that's gonna happen if anything changes, was almost $73,000.
Okay. And we have one grant to cover,
We had a grant and it covered the engineering and the
Right.
permitting, so it doesn't
Right.
cover the construction costs.
right? So, and where are the construction costs being covered? How are they going to be covered?
Well, that's the thing, that's what we had to declare.
Great. Oh,
See. So
Okay.
we're hopeful that we can get the grant to help backfill, but otherwise it would have to go before annual town meeting and come out.
oh, this town meeting. Okay.
Yeah.
And how much money we talking about for that, for the actual?
Well, they have like a legalese term for it. It's like a projection
All right.
cost, and that was almost $73,000.
Oh, that's the same.
That's
Okay,
right.
that's the-
Great. Yeah. So we spent the other money
Yeah,
that
yeah.
we had, the
Got it,
other
got it.
grant money we had.
And I might be able to fine tune those numbers when I get quotes back from the contractors next week.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, to add time and more money onto this, just
Yeah.
It's
It's
crazy.
very expensive.
Yeah.
And then my last bit of news, obviously we've been plugging along at the budget process. We did a first draft last week at the FinCom meeting. I have to clean up some particularly personnel numbers related to like the salary alignment study. And then there's a few things we're just waiting to have come in before we'll be ready for the fiscal summit, which will be happening on Monday, February 23rd at 3 p.m. at the Shutesbury Public Library. We did notify boards and committees and reminded them to, anyone listening, please post your committee meeting if you'll have a quorum in attendance. And then town staff are obviously invited. And so the goal is basically just to present these initial figures and kind of brainstorm. That's going to be next Monday at 3 p.m. at the library.
Is it going to be on Zoom?
Yeah,
No?
we can make it on Zoom.
Okay, because I might have to, supposed to be out of town that day, so I might have to participate via Zoom.
Okay. But so they'll go over where we're at, can we look at any cost saving measures and,
Are we posting that as a select board meeting or not?
we
Or you, okay.
will just better safe than sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
23rd.
23rd.
Yeah.
And this is the presentation is being done by the finance committee.
Yes.
Will
Yeah.
it be recorded? Yeah.
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 The system there is really easy to work.
Yeah, and I just think for people who can't come, that it would be great to have,
Yeah.
say that this is available before town meeting.
And
Never used to have several of these, right? The FinCom.
yeah, we did one. Oh geez, I don't know, several months ago.
Right, right.
It's on the first one, and so this is the continuation of that.
Yeah.
And the FinCom's meeting Thursday night to kind of go over the specifics of the presentation, so. And so that then.
Okay,
Oh,
great.
Cool.
Good. That it? Is that all she wrote?
For now.
Okay,
Right.
so you have stuff you need us to sign, which was saved for.
think
So I'll
we
make
can-
a motion
we can
to
adjourn the
adjourn the meeting.
I will second the motion. Bailey,
Farrell, I.
Stocker, aye. Thank you all.